Hey, this is Dan Lehman from AutomationHelpers.com, and today we're going to talk about how we can better interact with addresses inside of automations in SmartSuite. Now, if you haven't signed up for SmartSuite yet, I encourage you to do so with the affiliate link in the description below. Let's jump into it. I'm taking a look inside of just a basic app that I have here for contact records. We might assume that the contact maybe is coming in from a form and we want to do some kind of validation or assignment based off of some part of the address. Now, the part I love about addresses in SmartSuite is their compound nature and their validation with Google Maps. We've got the ability to type in an address and we have the different parts of the address display automatically for us. So really convenient. And then of course we have the ability to render it a couple of different ways and we've got maps and all of that. When it comes to automations, let me click into my automations for a moment. And we want to do some kind of check against it. This is where it gets a little bit tricky because we might have a condition where we want to check against the address or some part of the address. In this case, maybe we have certain locations of our stores in certain states. We want to do some kind of territory assignment. Whatever we want to do, we want to be able to check against the state field in this use case. But when we have the address field, we've got the ability to say contains, equals, not equal to, is empty, is not empty. This doesn't feel like we have a lot of flexibility here. You'll notice that we don't have different parts of the address. We don't have state and zip code and things represented. We just have this single address field. So this is where we could do something and just type text and have if the address contains North Dakota. Now, if we save that automation and we look back at what we have, this would fire because the address, when treated like a string, does contain North Dakota. Well, that works for me because we live in the middle of nowhere in the US. But now imagine if your address was something with Washington in it. All the streets and avenues, 100 South Washington Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think you can see where this probably starts to unravel a little bit is when we have some of these use cases where technically the address still contains that. It's not the state. It could be in the street address itself. This is where we have to get a little bit creative. We do this by creating a new formula field. And we can call this state. I'll go into my advanced editor here. And this is where we want to use our address field. But we've got the ability to actually break this down using that dot notation to actually say address dot, and now it can break it up into different parts: city, country, state, street, suite, and zip code. This is where I want to use state, address.state. I will add my field, and voila, we actually isolate that part of our address from, well, I guess we have to redo the address here. This is where we can isolate the state from the overall address itself. And if we were to go back into our automations, into the address match, then instead of address, we could simply look across the state and we could say if the state contains or if the state is equal to and put in the value that we wanted. I hope this was helpful for you to see how we can interact with addresses inside of SmartSuite automations. Of course, if you have any questions about SmartSuite, feel free to reach out to us on our website at automationhelpers.com or leave us a comment down below.